Hello, Internet. My name is Roro, and welcome to my channel. So, as an artist, as a musician, we all tend to doubt ourselves at times, but in this video, I wanted to talk about why you shouldn't doubt your music and you should just keep going with any ideas that you have and keep attempting to progress and improve in your own way, whether or not you're getting the response that you expected. So, let's get into it. So, first of all, your art is a reflection of who you are in the moment, how you're feeling in the moment, your desires, your wants, your needs in the moment, whether or not you put that into your art or not. For example, let's say you're really heartbroken, you're feeling super sad, super depressed. So you write a song that sounds sad and the lyrics maybe are heartbroken, it's about a breakup. That's like a very obvious example, right? But let's say you're making rap beats and you're making beats with the intention of somebody buying those beats because you want to make money, you want to have a career, but maybe the beat isn't necessarily a reflection of who you are in the moment, of how you're feeling in the moment. You're not necessarily putting your personal story into the beat, but what you are putting into the beat is your intention. And your intention is for this beat to go somewhere, for it to get to a certain type of person or a certain type of rapper. So that is still you putting yourself into that music. So authenticity is something that's talked about a lot with music and art, and it can get kind of confusing, but I'm of the mentality that it's not actually possible to make inauthentic art. Obviously, every situation is different, and inauthentic can be interpreted in different ways. Where if somebody's creating an entire persona, but they're hiding the fact that that's not who they really are, and they're trying to present themselves in a way that they are not, yes, you can say that's inauthentic. But what's real about it is the desire for this person to not be who they are. Does that make sense? And that's why I truly believe that it's important not to doubt your music and don't doubt your art, because if you're doubting the art and the music that you're making, it most likely means that you're doubting the person you are in that moment, how you're feeling in that moment, what you're trying to express in that moment. That's what you're really doubting. And if you feel like you're blocked and you can't figure out what to make and you can't figure out what to express, that has nothing to do with music and art. That has to do with you as a person. That has to do with internally how you're feeling and what you're fighting against. That's why I say you should never doubt the music itself. You should never doubt the art itself, because what you're actually doubting is yourself. And I think that that can sometimes be hard to confront. But also, sometimes it could be something as simple as you doubting the process. Like, let's say I'm recording some guitar and I really want it to sound clean. So I plug my guitar directly into my computer to record it so that there's no interference, there's no microphone that I need to use. It's the cleanest, purest audio signal that you can get. And I think that's what I want, but then when I actually record it, maybe it doesn't sound like what I'm used to. It doesn't sound full enough. It doesn't sound like what I'm comfortable with. And I ultimately choose to record my guitar out of an amp and use a microphone. You can still get a clean sound if you do it that way, but your process of what you thought you should be doing, or my process in this case, was not what I expected it to be. So in that sense, you can just doubt the process and it doesn't have to be that personal. But this is also like already kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of actually creating art and creating music, which that's just going to be different all the time. That's going to be different from person to person. It's possible for somebody to only do things one way, but again, that's specific to them. That's not how it is done. Does that make sense? Like, maybe someone makes visual art and they only ever use canvas and a Sharpie, and that's all they do. That doesn't mean that that's how that specific type of art should be made. That's how they make that art. But that's a personal choice. Does that make sense? And that's what this all is. It's all personal choices. So if you're choosing to ignore your feelings and you're choosing to ignore the things that you want to express to get to a bottom line, to get to a certain sound, to get to a certain type of music for the intention of catering to a consumer, essentially, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you're making inauthentic art. What it means is that you are not the type of person in that moment that desires to express themselves. And if you are the type of person that is making stuff that you don't actually really want to be making, and you do desire the need to express yourself, then you probably should do it. You should probably make what you want to make and stop worrying about what other people think. Because that's what this ultimately comes down to. I guarantee you, every single person that makes music, every single person that makes art, if the idea of somebody else experiencing the art and the music was removed completely from the process, like actually removed, I guarantee you most people would make something different than what they normally would make. And I don't think there's actually a way to do that, especially in like modern times, because everybody's so connected on the internet. Like, I guess if you're just like completely isolated in a cabin and you don't have internet access and you don't really interact with people outside of your real life and you just make music just for fun, that person's probably not thinking about the consumer, right? But that's not really something that's common. So even if you are not trying to be famous or be successful or whatever, you're still going to have the idea of other people in your head when you're making stuff, most likely. And again, for some people, if that's your intention, then go for it. But for someone like me, I need to just put myself into my music for me to feel satisfied. And I think a lot of people feel that way. And I think a lot of people doubt themselves and they are self-editing before they're even letting themselves get to the meat of what they're trying to do. So that's something I've been talking about a lot on my channel lately, is just let yourself make what you want to make. Don't worry about what other people think. And if it ends up not being what you want, just try something else. Doubt the process. Like I said, the process might be incorrect. The intention might be there, but you just have to figure out how to get it. You're not going to get it your first try, most likely. And don't give up. If it's something you feel passionate about, don't give up, because you will figure it out. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in this video. I hope you liked it. I hope I can help in some way for people that are, making art and music themselves. I have a bunch of other videos on my channel where I talk about similar topics, so you can check those out as well, especially the last couple videos. And I put out a new video every Sunday, so if you want to come back next week for a new one, you can do that as well. And yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next video.